Hi everyone, welcome into Primetime TV. I'm Barbara Marville Kelly. With me is my husband, partner, best friend, you name it, Dennis Kelly. Hi.
Hi.
Say
Good
hi
being
to
here
our
again.
Audience.
Hello, audience.
So you are now, excuse me, I have to check my mic because you might not be, oh, that's my pack, hang up. Bear with me, this is a live show, right? Nope, I'm not muted. Yeah. Anyway, we're going to check this out because you're not hearing me, so I'm going to let you go ahead and talk and tell us about why being 80 is so absolutely fantastic.
Well, being 80 is fantastic because you made it that far.
That's a good one.
Yeah, because there's so many, I think anybody can think back that's 80, 85, 90 years of age where there's been situations in their life where the life depended on it. I've had a lot of those, and I feel that when you go through things like a life-threatening thing, that it educates you a little bit more. You get a little bit more experience in how to handle setbacks and things like that, or near misses as I call it. So it makes a big difference by looking at it. I made it that far, great, and thank God for all the things that He's given you, and you know, sometimes it's hard to decipher. Well, how many years do I have left? How many years do I feel that I can live comfortably? And I think the keynote is not how long we're going to live, but how healthy we're going to live.
Good point.
You know, you can accumulate large amounts of money, but the thing is, you never see a Brinks truck following a funeral procession.
That's a good one.
Yeah, so it's a life from a standpoint. I made it 80 wonderful, thankful years, and I'm going to do everything I can to keep the quality of health, because I don't think anybody wants to be on this earth if they're a burden to someone. You know, if they have obstacles that they have to overcome that even a young person might be difficult. So those are some of the drawbacks. Of course, one thing about when you get up to 80, 90 years, you don't have much peer pressure.
That's a good one, Kelly.
Yeah.
That is a really good one. But you know what? I really like what you said about the quality of life. In case you happen to be a new viewer watching the show today on Primetime, my husband just turned 80 last week on the 29th of March, and we call it 80 years young. Today, I really wanted to dedicate this hour to basically the wisdom of the ages that I've learned from my husband, and hundreds and thousands of people have learned as well from my husband, from being on numerous talk shows, by being on the Home Shopping Network, actually retailing your program, to right here on WeBeam TV. Our mission is to share the secret 6 steps to the fountain of youth, which is outlined in your book, and of course you can get that on dennis-kelly.com. and I'm only telling you that not to sell you a bunch of books, but just I know that people want to know the secrets. And today I ask you if we could find your 120 accolades. And I remember when I first met you, you had accolades on just handwritten on a poster board on the wall, and I wanted to share some of these, and we're going to try to get through 80 of them, each one representing a year of your life. There's 120 of them here, and if you would like us to email them to you, all you have to do is write us, let us know. But I'm just going to run through some of these, and raise your hand if you want to add something to it, because there's a lot here. Pay attention, whether you're in the kitchen or not. Turn the TV up a little bit louder so you can hear these. These they're called My 120 Accolades That Lead to the Fountain of Youth. Yes, we have discovered the Fountain of Youth, and we'll tell you exactly where it is at the end of the show with a few other little inspirational and motivational tips. So, control your moods and you can control your health, really?
It's a lot to do with your health, because people that are moody, they're putting bad chemicals in their body. It's a balance between happiness and loneliness, or happiness and unhappiness, so to speak. And to be happy, just have, first of all, decide to be happy. And it's like the 6 steps of the Fountain of Youth. If you do the first 5 things of the 6, it's almost impossible not to be happy.
And it's
in spite of yourself.
It's almost impossible to fail too, right?
Right,
yeah.
right.
So you've got, I'm going to run through a couple of these things. Eat 75% water-soluble foods, fruits and vegetables.
Very important.
Yes, very important. It just helps flush your system. Yes?
Yeah, and the problem is so many experts make it too complicated. 75, and this one gives you this one gives you that. Just having a mixture of foods, 75% of those foods, let them be water-soluble, fruits and vegetables. The other 20%, meat, fish, whatever.
I get it. And that's what we eat pretty much. We really have gone down from red meat. Once in a while we will eat grass-fed red meat once in a while, and we just eat very little of it.
Well, I learned a lot from my students. As you know, I've been teaching Tai Chi going on 40 years, and in the martial arts. And the thing that I noticed is that when the people got up in their 70s and 80s, they knew a lot of things that the books don't show you or tell you. So I learned a lot from my aging students. I had students as old as 100. So those in the 90s and in the area of the 100 areas, I call it, they have a whole disposition of happiness. They have a disposition of taking care of themselves. And so they follow a pattern. And you never see a centurion overweight, hardly ever.
You know, there's a lot of truth to that.
When they got up 95, 100, most of those their body mass does not have much fat to it.
Exactly.
And it's their lifestyle. The key is you must make the decision, do I want to make change in my lifestyle so I can be healthy and live longer? Does it matter? In other words, am I willing to put the time into it and the effort, which isn't that bad?
No, it isn't. I think once you know, once you're educated, because we all know that same old phrase, you know, knowledge is power. When we do have the knowledge, it helps build our confidence, and when we start implementing a program and we see the end results, it makes us want to continue on that program. Something else that I've heard you say time and time again in your seminars and your workshops is keep a beginner's mind. People don't grow old. When they stop growing, they become old. Don't dwell on negative emotions more than 2 minutes. We've shared what happens after 2 minutes in dumping the bad chemicals in the body.
That's when the cortisol and adrenaline take hold, and you need cortisol and adrenaline, but not on a daily basis and not to the extent that we have in modern day society. And it's just like acid eating away at the system, the body, the mind,
scary.
The emotions.
That is very scary. Also, something that you say, all man's miseries derive from not being able to sit quietly in a room alone. Think about that just for a few split seconds. Relax each day for at least 15 to 30 minutes. How many people out there just meet themselves coming and going? We've both been there, we've both done that. And sometimes it can be a challenge for us to take that time for ourselves, but we do. We manage to take that time for ourselves, even if it's a 5-minute emotional space break.
What amazes me with the research that's out now and with the personal development programs they have, why people don't listen, because it's not that difficult. And getting peace with yourself, being able to, like Pascal said, all of human unhappiness comes from one single thing, not living in a room alone. And that downtime, I call it, actually it's uptime, because of the fact that when you're finished with the meditation or just getting by yourself and organizing things in your mind, the rewards of that are insurmountable over a period of time. It's healthy. It allows the body to put more good chemicals in the body, and it has a lot of rewards to it. And you don't have to go 30 or 40 minutes, just 15 minutes here and there.
Here and there, that's right. We're going to take a break in a minute, but I have to tell you this really cute story. We all got together over the weekend to celebrate Easter, Jesus Christ, and of course your 80th birthday with my family. So the kids were out barbecuing on the lanai, and I could tell my oldest son just needed a little break. You know, we've got a 4-year-old grandson, and we have a 5-month-old granddog. So you can imagine the crazy fun that we were having. So when JD and I went out on the back porch, and I didn't tell you this, I said, let's give your daddy some emotional space time. He scratched his head and he said, yeah, emotional space time. And I'll leave you with that little note. We'll be right back after this. I didn't tell you. At a certain age, so this is supposed to happen. No, it's not supposed to happen.
Hi, I'm Jerry from Hot Locks Hair Salon. We are conveniently located at 13414 US Highway 19 in Hudson. I've been a local hairstylist in our community for the last 34 years, 7 of which I was an educator. Our passion is the artistry of hair, and Hot Locks is here to help you achieve your perfect image. You can call us at 727-514-9978.
At a certain age, so this is supposed to happen. No, it's not supposed to happen. Hi everyone, welcome into Primetime TV. We are celebrating the wisdom of the ages with none other than Mr. Anti-Aging legendary man of the hour, of the day, of the week, turning 80 last week. How about that?
The big 80.
I know. He kept walking around the house going, I can't believe I'm 80. I'm going to be 80. I'm going to be. He's now 80. So we're sharing some of our accolades of wisdom that we do on a pretty regular basis. And I forgot some of these things that we actually do. It becomes such a habit because after 21 days, right?
Over the period of the years, I would get add to my accolade collection and try to memorize each of those, because no matter what would happen, no matter what situation would come up in my life, there was an accolade to fit that situation.
That's really good.
Like, for example, at the end of the rope, tie a knot in it and hang on when you get to the end of that rope. Winners never quit, quitters never win. You know, it goes on, and when you program that into you, it's very difficult to go off the track. It's because then you got an accolade that'll pop up in your mind and say, you better get on track. You're off track right now. I mean, it's just amazing how you can condition your mind to really enjoy and get the purpose of that accolade and get you out of maybe some bad thinking, bad directional thinking, or being down in the dumps, stuff like that. So,
and that we never have any of that, being down in the dumps. If we ever do, we catch ourselves and we know just how to get out of it. Would you attribute, and this, I mean, this is the first time we're having this type of conversation, okay? Would you attribute these accolades to all of those championships that you won in the martial arts?
Let's put it this way. A high percentage of the effect, that influence that those accolades had on me enabled me to do better in whatever I decided to do, regardless of what it was. And if I'm fighting in tournaments, I'm using accolades to bring myself up to a higher pitch of emotional, mental, and physical fitness. I call it the trilogy, Neurogenetics. It does make a difference because it gives you a guide. It's like being down a highway at night and no lights on your vehicle. You have to guess where you're at, sort of. But when you have accolades, it's like the light. It's like a guidance that's guiding you to keep you in the middle of the road and be able to see in the dark.
That's very good. That's the first time we've ever discussed it in just this kind of way.
Well, that's the other thing. Your mind gets to the point where you can create things almost at any second when you're really trying to get hold of something. You're having a difficult situation. It's amazing how by going to the heart and using the accolades as an instrument of direction, it's not the goal, it's the direction that the goal takes you. Like, it's nice to make a goal to get things, but it's better to make a goal to become things.
Ooh, I've never heard that one before. I don't know where you come up with all this.
That's because each of those accolades,
they're in your brain.
It goes into the bank and it seeks for pieces of other things to make the accolade a success or to make it sensible.
You make a lot of sense. I love it. So here's one I want to ask you. How we think and feel when things go bad is more important than how we think when things are going good.
Yeah, it's amazing how people don't realize that. When things are going good, it's easy. You just won the lottery or you just have a newborn child in your life. It's easy to feel good, all right? But it's easy to feel bad, too. Because we're actually hardwired more to be negative than positive. That was for survival purposes, going way back in the Paleolithic ancestor days when the cavemen, they just had simple nervous systems: kill or be killed, eat, proliferate, and that was it. The brain did not have all these complexities to it. And that sort of simplifies these complexities.
Very good. Well said. Optimists live longer and have better health than pessimists.
Absolutely. There was research done by Martin Seligman, great psychologist. He was against the whole psychiatric companies or units. I was trying to figure out a word to fit in there, but that didn't work out so well. So anyway, he proved that, because the thought, let me rephrase that. The thoughts were that once if you're a pessimist, you can't change that. In other words, you've grown up, you're a pessimist, there's no way you can make an optimist out of a pessimist.
Really?
Well, he proved that wrong.
Really? How?
Yeah. Well, there are three things you concentrate on: permanence, personalization, and personal. Personalization, and there's one other in there, it is pervasiveness. I said that. So you have the three things: personal, things that are personal to you; pervasiveness, things that go to different areas, covering a larger territory; and I'll think of the other one a little while.
Yeah, senior moment. It's okay. We'll give you a pass
Sure.
on that one. Optimists produce more and better results in business, sports, and life in general. But here's the thing. It's easy to talk about being positive. It's easy to talk about being an optimist. However, it's not all that easily implemented in a number of cases and situations, and difficult people, difficult situations and things like that. We were not born with a manual on how to live life.
Right, and I just thought of the other one. It's permanence.
Permanence.
So we have three. We have permanence, pervasiveness, and personal. How that means, like for example, somebody is a negative pessimist and something negative happens. So bad things always seem to happen to me. I always seem to attract bad things. So that's the personal. If a personal is a positive person, optimist, then they're going to think good things last a long time, and I focus on that good thing that happened. I'm going to get everything out of that good thing I can possibly get as far as helping me with my growth and my attitude and things like that. And then of course with there's the personal that I just mentioned, the permanence and the pervasiveness. The personal also has a great deal to do with how we direct ourselves in looking for things to feel good. That's why I put together the Accolades, because I don't have to, at this point, labor so much about finding good things, because that has helped me over the period of years tremendously.
I know, and you've passed this out, you've emailed this to so many people and have blogged it and put it in magazine articles and really share on a regular basis. I mean, when you can sit down and talk to a perfect stranger, I mean, sitting in the waiting room at a doctor's office, standing in the line at a checkout, and you start a conversation, it's almost like you can feel somebody's energy that they might be down or might need a smile or might need a little something that we can pull from this. And I'm very blessed to know all of these and really focus on them when I need to focus too, because it becomes a matter of habit with us. One thing that literally changed my life when I met my husband, you've heard me say this before, if you've ever watched our shows or if you know me in the community or from my former job at the Home Shopping Network, I'm always sharing this. One angry thought held for 5 minutes or more can lower your immune system and zap your energy for up to 6 to 8 hours. We're not going to dwell on this. We will be doing more and more video on these little accolades and everything, but real quickly, what happens to our body when we spend 5 minutes or more on a negative emotion, or we get upset because that person didn't pay back the money that they borrowed from you, or whatever the case may be. You have somebody give you a sign language on US 19 down here in Florida. What is happening to people today?
Well, when 5 minutes are up, your body is sending cortisol and adrenaline into it in large amounts. And the problem there is that it's the flight or fight response, and your body goes into flight or fight mode. Then everything stops. Blood circulation gets changed. Your digestive system is shut off. All the avenues of healthy function is shut off, and it goes into a fight or flight stance or position. And that's very unhealthy. And like you said and read from there, that one angry thought held for 2 minutes or more, actually it's 5 minutes or more, can actually send all these different hormones into the body that actually are very destructive. You need cortisol, you need adrenaline, but on a moderate basis for exciting things like a competition, like just simply feeling good. So you have a little bit of that from each of the different hormones that they send. But when those hormones get to the point after 5 minutes, then the problem gets it could get very serious. Just like in the Neanderthals, our cousins from way back many thousands of years, they had very simple nervous systems, and they weren't designed to be like ours. And ours did not progress enough. In other words, we emotionally did not progress enough that we progressed too far mentally, and it's very difficult for people to handle our emotions because we're still hot-wired basically for survival.
So that comes from our Paleolithic ancestors.
That is a negative thing for survival.
So that explains why it's easier for people to be more negative than positive.
Oh, yeah.
Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah. Okay. So you got, the first step is be aware of that challenge. Once you're aware of it, you can do something about it. But people go around not knowing it. You don't get a manual when you're born.
No.
It doesn't tell you what to do. And there's so many different concepts out there, concept changes, that it's sort of very difficult to figure out what is true, what isn't true. There's so much commercialization of these things that are so dear to us. You know, challenges what happens, some people spoil it, they make claims that are almost impossible to accomplish. And then that turns people off. The funny thing about being wired the way we are, the concept of positive thinking has put more people in an insane asylum than any other emotion.
I've heard you say that. Yes, I've heard you say that.
Because what happens when people get positive, okay, I'm going to be positive. I'm reading Norman Vincent Peale, I'm reading Marvin Schwartz, I'm reading Martin Seligman, I'm reading that stuff, and I should feel real good. The problem is they expect too much too soon, and they don't really believe it. They don't believe it. So you have to get a strong belief system. That's so important, along with the desire to want to excel in your life. Because the best gift you can give your loved ones, the best gift you can give yourself, is a good example.
Absolutely. You're so right about that. There was a note in here about being a believer, and I wish I would have put a check mark next to that about belief, in believing what you're doing and believing what you're saying, believing what you're thinking and feeling and all of that. But I'm going to go on to also self-talk. Watching our self-talk and actually not just listening to what we're saying, but hearing what we're saying. Touch on that real quickly.
Well, a great psychologist, Shad Helmstetter. He wrote a book, What Do I Say When I Talk to Myself? He did a lot of research, and people have anywhere from 65,000 words a day, or they have 15,000 words to 20,000 words that they speak, and 65,000 to 70,000 words that they think every day. That's a lot of words. So we eventually become what we think about. We become the words that we're thinking. One of the cliches basically is there are three things that really make the difference, and understand those three things: the mind, the body, and the emotions. And when you develop the ability to be able to combine those things, keep your eye on the ball in the air. We need to strengthen our mental capacity, we need to strengthen our emotional capacity, and we need to stress our spiritual capacity. So you need to have spiritual fitness, mental fitness, emotional fitness.
That's excellent.
And when you look at it like that, it's a strategy. By the way, in case some of you haven't noticed, and sometimes it's hard, and for those of you new that don't know me, I'm recovering from Parkinson's disease. When I say I'm recovering, it's going forward on the recovery rather than backwards. And it still, once in a while, affects me. I'll be in the middle of a sentence, and once in a while, my mind will go blank a little bit because of the nature of it, but it's happening less and less. So those of you that have fibromyalgia, lupus, any of those life-threatening diseases to change your life to be miserable, you can still have wonderful times. You can still, there are ways to keep yourself from getting worse in many different ways.
Exactly. We have a break coming up in just a few seconds, so I'm just going to throw these out there real quickly, and then when we come back, we'll pick up some more really good definitions and solidity to what we're talking about. Oh, it's time to go to break. We'll be right back. At a certain age, so this is supposed to happen. No, it's not supposed to happen.
Hi, I'm Jerry from Hot Locks Hair Salon. We are conveniently located at 13414 US Highway 19 in Hudson. I've been a local hairstylist in our community for the last 34 years, 7 of which I was an educator. Our passion is the artistry of hair, and Hot Locks is here to help you achieve your perfect image. You can call us at 727-514-9978.
At a certain age, so this is supposed to happen. No, it's not supposed to happen.
One time I did.
You do? Yeah, you do. Hi everyone, we're back, and I just remembered that I found what I wanted to talk about when it comes to belief that you were addressing earlier on. So it's just a simple, quick statement, but it's very powerful. Those that lack belief will not in turn be believed. So,
there's so much to that.
Okay, now we know perception is everything. Now, my perception of this is that if you don't believe your own talk and what you're saying and what you're telling someone, how do you expect them to believe it? Explain why that works that way.
Well, the thing is, a strong belief system, then everything in your body goes to work and making that statement that you're saying to yourself, that thought, a reality. The 3 things, thoughts are things. These are 3 things, and it's so important. It's 3 of the most important words in the universe. Our thoughts are things. So that what you believe eventually comes to fruition. So you got to be so careful what you believe, because you add a life to that belief system. For example, well, there's another example. Your life will be governed by what is true, but your experience in life will be governed by what you believe to be true. For example, when everybody thought the world was flat, it limited our travel, because people wouldn't travel too far knowing they're going to fall off the edge of the earth. However, once people found out that the world was not flat, then so many wonderful things developed from it. So many wonderful things, people experiencing things they could have never experienced when they thought the world was flat. So the belief system is so powerful. It's one of the most important things. If anybody, when I do a seminar, when I do personal consulting, I tell them, you have to set up a strong belief system. If you set a goal, you've got to set up a strong belief system to accomplish that goal. Don't worry about how to do it. Just do it. The how will come. Just keep your eyes focused and on that belief, getting back to the belief system. It ties right in with goal setting. Because if you set goals and you don't believe it, that's about wasted time and wasted, for example, vision without action is a dream. Action without vision is a waste of time. Action and vision, which fits into the belief system, and you can conquer the world.
That's true. I'm still hung up on the world being flat. I think that's still why I don't want to travel. I'm just kidding.
Leave it to you.
I'm just kidding. Anyway, that's really powerful. Now, mind you, we did not rehearse any of this. This is all coming from my husband's way long-term memory. And
Even with Parkinson's.
Yeah, exactly. So if he's a little kind of on the inspirational and motivational side, that's a good thing. This show is definitely worth doing and sharing all of this. So some of the other things that we want to talk about, let all the important and deep thoughts come from your heart and not from the head. Then center that thought in the abdominal area, which is the center of our intuition and power. That way you can tell the difference between a head thought or a heart thought. Believe me when I tell you, when you master this concept, your whole world will change. It will change in your personal relationships. It will change in your business relationships. It will change everything, right?
Absolutely.
Why is that?
Without a shadow of doubt.
So what is that? Why explain about the brain here and the brain here and the brain here?
Well, there is a brain they discovered about 25, 30 years ago, one of the most profound discoveries in the world, and very few people knew about it and still know about it, is that inside the heart is a brain. The same cells that in the brain are also in the heart, and the heart communicates with the brain, and then we have the gut, which is the Chinese call it the Dantian area, the seat of all of our power. We learn that in the martial arts, that our strength comes from our abdominal area, our fortitude, strength, and there is over 1 million neurons in the gut area, more so than in the spinal column. So there is a brain in the gut, brain in the heart, brain in the head, and they all communicate. Once you learn that, once you have knowledge is power, because then you can capitalize on those things. So you're going to be more careful what you think. You're going to be more careful what you do, because you're going to be in control of your life, where most people are not in control. Most people are like a part in a movie. They're the participant in the movie. What's the word I want there? There's the
actors?
The actor, yeah, you could say the actors in the movie. The problem is most people are actors in a movie, but they're not the director.
Ah.
The key is to become the director in the movie of your life. And you call the shots. Most people have a director that's telling them different things, that's influencing them so that they can't make their own decisions properly. So that's very important, to play act in your mind like you're the director, you're also a participant in the movie and the director. That's even more powerful. You can direct yourself. Oh, I want to do this and I want to do that. The subconscious mind doesn't know the difference. Subconscious mind thinks that's real. Thoughts are things. One of the biggest wows I've ever experienced in my life when I learned from quantum physics that when you have a thought and you focus that thought, and you don't have to do it a long time, each day about 5 to 10 minutes at the most, you focus on that thought, all of a sudden things start vibrating, and then all of a sudden everything that you have in that thought, that focus, that passion, you have to have passion with that thought, starts becoming reality. Thoughts are things. So be careful what you think about, because you bring about. And what you bring about, you may not want about once you accomplish that ability to focus to the degree that you can bring things in your life. I have been so amazed at my life, even though I have limited education because I dropped out of high school in my junior year to provide for a family. But I got into positive thinking, and then I realized that wasn't the answer. Then after researching becoming eclectic of the eclectics, the martial arts helped me put all those pieces of the puzzle together. It's like in the last couple of years, all the pieces fit, and I got a picture of my life. But before, it was a piece of the puzzle here, piece of the puzzle here. And when you put a puzzle together, if I was to ask you to put a puzzle together, you demand one thing, a picture. Mm-hmm. What is the puzzle going to look like? Well, life is like that too. Mm-hmm. That's true. That's where the director comes in. That's where the movie comes in. The movie of your life is you create a picture and a focus and feel like you already are in the part of the movie.
And you've done that ever since
Absolutely.
We've known one another.
Religiously.
But you did that even before. So
yeah.
We've been together 20 years. This will be our 18-year anniversary. And I can honestly say, walking your talk makes a big, big difference. In fact, you literally have pulled a movie together that we are never giving up on. We will get The Legend of Tango Man produced, hopefully sooner rather than later. But it was like you saw all these different parts in your life, and they've all come to fruition. It's true what you think about, you bring about. The other thing that I wanted to share is before because we're going to run out of time real soon. I know you're waiting to hear where that fountain of youth is. We're going to share that with you right in the last segment of the show. But before we get my cue for the break, I just wanted to say that the biggest lie on the planet is when I get what I want, then I will be happy. No. Be happy in spite of things and not because of things. I think we could call that gratitude for what we have, the blessings that we have, those downloads from the good Lord that we get quite unexpectedly, that gives us those answers to prayer.
Well, it all fits in. Prayer is a very powerful form of motivation, especially when the prayer is sincere and you have really a goal of thanking God and Jesus for the things that they've given you, the opportunities they've given you. Prayer is really powerful. And praying from the heart is different than praying from the head. Praying from the head is, well, God, I need this, I need that. And thinking about the needs rather than thinking about what this thing that you're praying for, how is it going to help your life and helping other people?
Exactly.
One of the greatest gifts that you can be given is the gift of wanting to help other people.
And setting an example for that as well.
That's very important.
Which you say all the time is setting an example. The best thing that we can do for our family, and I don't know who wouldn't agree with the fact that all of our families need that more than ever today. From all the different changes and concepts that you were saying earlier, the concept changes, the digital age is enough to make a lot of parents just go nutsy cuckoo. I, for one, as a grandparent, you know, with a 4-year-old. And so I'm finding that more generations are going back to basics, because the basics work. And that's pretty much how our program is, but yet you have added on top and have added to the Accolades what your learned experiences have worked. Tried and true experiences. We have just 1 minute, and then when we come back, we're going to be talking about that 6 steps to the fountain of youth and where it actually is. But another real quick little thing is people don't grow old when they stop growing, they become old. Did I cover that one already?
No, that's
okay.
first time.
Well, we don't have time to really expand on that. I'm only on like about number 21. There's 120 of these here. And if you would like a copy of it, all you have to do is email either one of us or private message me, because my husband doesn't do the private message yet. That's that digital age thing.
I like people.
Yeah, he is smart. John is telling me in my ear he's smart, exactly. But we're going to go ahead and take a break, and when we come back, it's going to be almost time to close the show. And it's just great to be here with you on Primetime, sharing all of this wisdom of the ages. At a certain age, so this is supposed to happen. No! It's not supposed to happen.
Hi, I'm Jerry from Hot Locks Hair Salon. We are conveniently located at 13414 US Highway 19 in Hudson. I've been a local hairstylist in our community for the last 34 years, 7 of which I was an educator. Our passion is the artistry of hair, and Hot Locks is here to help you achieve your perfect image. You can call us at 727-514-9978.
At a certain age, so this is supposed to happen. No, it's not supposed to happen. Hi everyone, welcome into Prime Time, our last segment of our show featuring Wisdom of the Ages. Would you believe that we've only made it to about number 40 on your accolades, because you're just drawing from all these different accolades and just adding your extra little bit to it. So we have time for 2 more, which I think are extremely important. Then we're going to tell you where the Fountain of Youth is. You can find it, every single one of you. I guarantee it. So, number 45, my love, is one of the important formulas to success is D plus D times F equals success. Dedication plus discipline times focus equals success.
Right, it's a formula. Everything in life is a formula.
Yeah, it is.
And especially that, because you need to be dedicated to whatever you're going to do that you want to make a success out of that venture, so to speak, whether it be physical, mental, and emotional. You need to have a very, very disciplined part of you, and you need to be totally focused, because being focused is so important. Most people nowadays, because there's so many distractions, it's hard to focus. The average person changes concepts every 60 seconds about 25, 30 times.
60
Within about 60 seconds, your mind has talked in yourself mentally about 20 to 25 different things. So when you focus on something, then that causes that something that you want to happen starts vibrating, because everything is a frequency. Every cell in our body is a frequency, and we have good frequencies, bad frequencies. So when you think negative thoughts, it's oscillating at a certain frequency, draws other negative thoughts all around the world into that frequency. So you're tapping into that frequency band, just like the television. When you try to change it to different things, you change it to things that are pleasant or things that you want to watch. Well, the same thing with the body, our spirit and everything. It ties into the frequency level. What I do is I like to make a graph. Say for 0 to 10 would be the positive frequencies, and 0 to 10 downward would be the negative ones. So for example, the extreme number 10 negative would be rage, right? And with the extreme positive would be euphoria, like you just won the lottery. But again, you can't oscillate at those levels that high over a long period of time, because you can even get yourself sick with positive things if you don't allow yourself to calm down, because then there's always the fear of losing that thing that's so exciting that puts you to this level frequency. So you need to control that, just like being a director of that movie. What frequency do you want to oscillate at? Do you want a frequency of 10, or do you want a frequency of 10 negative? The key is to oscillate at about a 5 number at about a level 5, which is halfway up, halfway down of
so it's
the positive.
Balanced. It's balanced.
It's balanced.
Yeah.
The same thing with the negative. The negative, how do you get rid of the negative, is actually try to place it with a positive. You can't get rid of a negative. You have to get a placement. For example, if there's a dove on the fence post, I want to change that into a lion. I have to replace the dove with a lion. I can't change him. You see, nobody's a musician in that respect. So the key thing is replace that negative with a positive. That puts you in a positive vibration. Sometimes it's good to vibrate negative. Just so it's like a 2% or 5% negative.
It can motivate you, though.
Yeah, but get off your butts, get up and do it.
Exactly.
Yeah, it makes a big difference. And then there's what we call flatline. When you're not positive, you're not negative, you're right in the middle. Flatline is fine, but you don't want to dwell there, because when you're flatlining, you're more susceptible to negative than positive.
All right. Okay, how much time do we have, John? 4 minutes. So I'm going to run through this. No, not quite. Another very important formula for success is Q plus Q times S equals S. The quality of the service plus the quantity of the service times the spirit and harmony in which that service is rendered equals the amount of success you will have with that service. I swear by this 120%.
Of all the things in my life, of all the different concepts, millions of them, this was the most powerful formula for me. It changed my life dramatically. When I was in the business world working with people, and I had many people working for me, and by that formula I was able to control their frequency level at will. The Q, the quality plus the quantity, time, the spirit, and harmony of which that service is rendered has such an important part. The main thing, the times factor, is the spirit and harmony. Because when people try, for example, in business, they try to have more quality, sometimes the employees don't like doing what they have to do to get more quality. So how do you create spirit and harmony with it? That's where the leadership comes in.
Exactly.
Making each side understand what their personal what the responsibility is. So the quality and quantity times the spirit and harmony. The spirit and harmony is so powerful, and it enabled me to be able to build some of the most successful businesses, set all sorts of sales records with my company. This because of that big formula.
And that
I call it big formula because it's big.
It is big, and once you really concept that, it does work. We only have 1 minute. Real quickly, once you become fearless, life becomes limitless. And look who decides to stand up on that note. I gave this to my husband for his birthday because he is fearless, and so am I, and so can you be. Now, I promised the answer. You want to know where the fountain of youth is? Shall we tell them?
Yeah, go ahead.
It's right there. It's right here. It's inside you. You have what it takes to discover that fountain of youth that we were all born with, and that we can hold on to as much as we can if we just change our concept changes, we change our belief, and so much more, and we live a heart-centered life.
Absolutely.
And I want to thank you, my dear sweet husband of 18 years this year it will be, and congratulations on your 80th.
Oh, you put up with me that long?
Yeah. Hey, you put up with me that long too. So thanks for being with us on Primetime TV. Next week we will see you back, same time, same place, and thanks for joining us.
Good night.